Alright, what's going on, guys? Welcome to Central America, more specifically in Belize. So right now we are in western Belize, kind of on the outskirts of the city of San Ignacio, and we are going to start our little Belize fishing road trip here. We'll spend 2 days in this area, and then we'll start heading our way back east toward Belize City, where we'll catch a flight back to Miami. So right now we are on the Macal River or Macal River. I can't believe I forgot this already. There's two rivers in this part of the country, and they meet at some point, so I do not remember what they are called. This is the Macal River. So right now we are on the Macal River. We're going to be doing a little bit of microfishing here. There should be, I believe, a couple different tetras species and some gambusia species that we can catch. I also saw some cichlids earlier. We'll probably do some cichlid fishing later with some lures and whatnot, but right now we're going to be microfishing. Goal is to catch some tetras, some gambusia. Should be a couple new species added to the life list. So let's give it a shot and let's have a good little time here in Belize. Alrighty, so let me show you the rig here. It's a little split shot with a little Tanago hook, and for bait we got a little piece of gulp maggot in red wiggler color. Whenever I'm fishing internationally like this, finding bait is usually a difficult task, so I tried to come prepared a little bit here. Got a whole bunch of artificial baits. So let's see. Oh yeah, these guys are all over it. There is a big school of these guys down there, and they are all over this. This piece might be a little bit too big for them. Never mind, we got one. It's one of those little tetras. Let's get this guy in the photo tank. Let's get a better look at him. Alright, so here's our first fish from Belize, and we caught it in about 1 minute of fishing, so that is a great little start. I believe there are 3 different species of these types of tetras found in Belize, and they all look really, really similar. So we'll try to ID this guy later. Would love to catch all 3 species over the course of this little 4-day road trip. But for now, I'm happy with one. Looks like these guys are going to be pretty easy to catch. So we'll probably pick away at several more of these guys during this session, and then hopefully we can find some other species as well. But this is a great little start. So let's get a pick of this guy. Let's get him back, and let's keep fishing. Got him. This is a bigger one. Is it the same one though? Alright, these guys are definitely feisty. Here is fish number 2. I believe it's going to be the same species, just on the bigger side. But like I said, the 3 tetra species look almost identical over here. So we'll get some pics of this guy. We'll get him back. And there is a school of probably well over 100, maybe even a couple hundred of what I guess are all these guys down here. And they are super aggressive. So yeah, we'll mess around with these guys, and then we'll make a move at some point, try to find those gambusia species and whatnot. But looks like we're going to get a good amount of action here. Got him. Alright, so fish number 3, another one of these little tetras. Like I said, there are definitely hundreds in this little area right here. And in South Florida, the eastern mosquito fish are probably the most aggressive little micro. You drop your bait in, those guys are going to be all over it. Here, I think these are going to be the most aggressive micro, and they're more aggressive than the eastern mosquito fish compared to what I'm normally used to. Pardon the noise, I'm standing right under a bridge. It is very loud. But yeah, third one of these guys, super easy to catch, real pretty little fish, kind of bland silvery in color, but it's got a couple of these nice little accents on the tail and over on the bottom fins. But yeah, quick pick, get him back. Let's keep going. Maybe one or two more of these guys, then we'll move on. Catching these guys is super easy. Alright, so usually I think fish look better in the water. I think their colors come out better, the shape of the fish looks better. These guys I think look better outside of the water. I think the colors come out better on these guys out of the water rather than in the water. But yeah, super aggressive, super easy to catch, real pretty as well. Let's get him back and let's keep fishing. Great start to my Belize trip so far. Got him. Alright, so I think I've had enough fun with these guys. We're gonna get this one back after a quick picture, and then we'll move on. We'll try to find those Gambusia species and maybe something else as well. But yeah, these guys are really cool. I'm sure we'll catch a couple more of these guys today and over the next several days. I think I've caught all the same species though, but I'm not positive. Like I said, I believe there's 3 of these guys found in Belize. Got another little one of these little tetras. Alright, so I've caught several more of these guys off camera now since I last showed you that last one. I've seen a couple little juvenile cichlids and I've seen a couple little tiny gambusias. However, I have not been able to catch those, and I've been actually catching several more of these little guys. These guys are super aggressive. They even got some little teeth in them too. I'm sure you can't even see that on camera, but just take my word for it. Got him. Let's go. This is going to be that little Gambusia. Sweet. Let's get this guy in the photo tank as well. Alright, so this took some work, but there's our little Gambusia species. 99.99999% sure this is not an eastern mosquito fish. Those guys should not be found here unless they've been introduced, which I don't believe they have. This is one of the other Gambusia species. I believe there's a couple of them in Belize. Unsure on which one this is, but we'll get some good pictures, and I'm pretty confident that we'll be able to ID this guy. So that should be at least 2 new species on the day out of the river here. This guy took a little bit of work just because they're not as common as those tetras, and those tetras are a lot more aggressive. But we got one. So let's get a pic of this guy. We'll get him back. And then, yeah, let's keep fishing. Alrighty, so off of these logs here, I found some deeper water. Looks like there's a couple small cichlids down there. But before I could get my bait really down there, it was ambushed by a school of several dozen, maybe even 100 of these little tetras once again. So these guys are definitely the most common fish in this river, at least in this stretch of this river. They're really, really pretty. But yeah, most common and by far the most aggressive as well. This isn't it either. Another little tetra. Yeah, so I've caught plenty of these. I'm seeing a couple more of those little gambusias here on the top, which I'm trying to get. But as soon as this hits, even before it hits the water, I've had these guys jump out of the water to hit my bait while it was dangling out of the water a couple times. So just super, super aggressive little guys. Gonna try to get maybe one more of those gambusia fish, and I think we're going to call it a morning and get some lunch. But I don't know if that's going to be possible with how aggressive all these other guys are. Is this it? Yeah, sweet. Second little gambusia of the day. Alrighty, so second little these mosquito fish for the day. Looks to be the same species. There are not that many of them. Those tetras are a lot more common and a lot more aggressive, so I'm glad we were able to pick up two of these guys. We'll ID it later, but I've had a pretty good morning session here so far. I'm very happy with it. Two new species is not a lot, but there's not that much diversity over here. So let's get this little, I almost said eastern mosquito fish. Let's get this little unidentified mosquito fish back, and then we are going to go ahead and wrap it on up for the morning. Alright guys, so that's going to do it for our first fishing session in Belize, and I'd say it was a success. We got at least two new species pending ID, some sort of tetra and some sort of mosquito fish, which I am more than happy with. Did see a couple other little juvenile cichlids of various sizes, from like those little 1.5 inch little babies to maybe like 3 and 4 inch little subadults. So didn't get any of those. Just those tetras were way too aggressive. I would see a couple of those little really juvenile cichlids on the bottom, and I try to get my bait down to them, but before they could even really see it or react to it, my bait got ambushed by a whole bunch of those little tetras. So I think we're going to come back here later on today, maybe with some smaller lures, and we'll try to target some of those cichlid species and hopefully not catch any of these tetras, because I've shown you a lot of them on video, and I caught probably 2 or 3 times as many off camera trying to catch some of these other species. So they are just all over the place here, and like I said several times already, really, really aggressive. But yeah, pretty good start to this Belize trip. Let's hope the rest of the trip goes as well as this. If I could add 2 new species per session, I'd be very happy, even though I don't think that's gonna happen. The fresh waters of Belize, they're not as biodiverse, at least fish wise, as one might think, but still good first start. Good start for the first session. Let's get some lunch, and let's get back here this afternoon hopefully.